In my last video, I showed you the famous Petronas Towers, the popular islands, and the tourist hotspots. But what I didn't show you were the places that made me fall in love with this country. The places locals told me about in whispers. The destinations that don't appear in typical travel guides. Today, that changes. After my complete Malaysia travel guide got such an amazing response, hundreds of you asked the same question: where are the hidden gems? Where do locals actually go? Show us the real Malaysia that tourists miss. So, I did something crazy. I went back. I spent another 2 weeks exploring the places that Malaysians recommended, the spots they are almost reluctant to share because they want to keep them secret. And what I discovered absolutely blew my mind. In this video, I'm taking you off the beaten path to Malaysia's most incredible hidden gems. These are places where you'll barely see another tourist, where you'll experience authentic Malaysian life, and where you'll create memories that no guidebook can prepare you for. From secret islands to hidden waterfalls, underground caves to forgotten hill stations, and local neighborhoods that redefine Malaysian culture, this is the Malaysia nobody tells you about. Let's dive in. Everyone rushes from KL to Penang, completely skipping Ipoh. And that's exactly why Ipoh is magical. Ipoh is Malaysia's third largest city, but it feels like a sleepy town frozen in the 1950s. Colonial architecture lines the streets, pre-war shophouses lean against each other, and the pace of life moves at a rhythm the rest of Malaysia has forgotten. The city sits in a valley surrounded by dramatic limestone hills, giving it a backdrop that rivals any postcard. But unlike tourist-packed destinations, Ipoh remains authentically Malaysian, where locals outnumber visitors 10 to 1. Start in Old Town, where British colonial buildings stand beautifully preserved. The architecture alone is worth the trip, with Art Deco facades, ornate Chinese shop houses, and heritage buildings that tell stories of Ipoh as tin mining wealth. But Ipoh's real treasure is its food scene. This city rivals Penang for culinary excellence, and locals argue their version of many dishes is superior. Try Ipoh white coffee, which originated here, and the taste is smoother and less bitter than anywhere else. The secret is in the roasting process using palm oil margarine. Ipoh hor fun, flat rice noodles in a silky chicken broth, is the city's signature dish. The version here is the original, and once you taste it, you'll understand why Malaysians make pilgrimages to Ipoh just to eat this. Salt chicken, tau fu fa, silky tofu pudding, and curry noodles are other specialties. The best part? Everything is incredibly cheap, and you'll eat alongside locals who've been coming to the same stalls for decades. Concubine Lane sounds scandalous, and its history is. This narrow alley once housed the mistresses of wealthy tin miners. Today, it's lined with quirky cafes, art galleries, and small boutiques. It's touristy by Ipoh standards, which means you might see a handful of other visitors. Take a heritage walk through the surrounding streets. Many buildings are crumbling beautifully, creating an atmosphere that photographers dream about. The faded grandeur tells Ipoh's story better than any museum. The limestone hills surrounding Ipoh hide incredible cave temples. Unlike the crowded Batu caves, these are peaceful, spiritual places where you can actually appreciate the natural beauty. Perak Cave Temple features stunning Buddhist murals and a steep climb rewarded with views over the valley. Kek Lok Tong is a massive cave temple within a limestone hill, featuring a beautiful lake garden that emerges from the cave. It's surreal and serene. Sam Po Tong is another cave temple, this one with koi ponds and intricate rock formations. The best part? You'll often be completely alone in these sacred spaces. If you're traveling with family or want a fun day, the Lost World of Tambun is an underrated theme park with natural hot springs, water slides, and a petting zoo. It's not well known internationally, but very popular with Malaysian families on weekends. Malaysians from KL escape to Ipoh for long weekends. They come for the food, the nostalgia, and the slower pace. It's where they bring visitors they really like, to show them a Malaysia that feels more authentic than tourist Malaysia. Give Ipoh 2 days, or even 3 if you want to really slow down. It's just 2 to 3 hours from KL by bus or train, making it an easy addition to any itinerary. Stay in one of the heritage hotels converted from old mansions. They're atmospheric and affordable. While everyone flocks to Borneo for jungle experiences, Taman Negara offers something even more special, one of the world's oldest rainforests, and it's accessible from Peninsular Malaysia. Taman Negara means national park in Malay, and this jungle has existed for 130 million years. To put that in perspective, this rainforest predates the Amazon. You're walking through a forest older than many mountain ranges, and that's humbling. The world's longest canopy walkway stretches 530 meters through the treetops, suspended up to 45 meters above the ground. Walking across, you're at eye level with the forest canopy, watching monkeys leap between branches and birds you've never seen before. It's thrilling in a way that's both exciting and terrifying. The walkway sways slightly, and looking down through the mesh at the forest floor far below makes your stomach flip. But the perspective you gain of the rainforest is unforgettable. The jungle truly comes alive at night. Join a guided night walk and discover a completely different world. Nocturnal animals emerge, insects you didn't know existed appear, and the sounds of the jungle create a symphony that's both beautiful and slightly unnerving. You might spot tapirs, civets, flying squirrels, and if you're incredibly lucky, maybe even a tiger. The guides use red-filtered flashlights to spot animals without startling them, and their knowledge of the jungle's secrets is fascinating. The Tembeling River runs through the park, and taking a traditional longboat ride is essential. These narrow wooden boats powered by outboard motors transport you deeper into the jungle, passing riverside villages and pristine forest. You can also go river tubing or swimming in the rapids. The water is cool, clear, and incredibly refreshing after the humid jungle. The Batak people, one of Malaysia's indigenous groups, live in and around Taman Negara. Some communities welcome respectful visitors, offering insight into a lifestyle that has changed remarkably little over centuries. They can teach you jungle survival skills, show you medicinal plants, and demonstrate blowpipe hunting techniques. These encounters must be arranged through proper channels with indigenous guides to ensure respect and fair compensation for the communities. For serious adventurers, multi-day treks through Taman Negara offer complete jungle immersion. The trek to Gunung Tahan, Malaysia's highest peak in the peninsula, takes 7 to 9 days and is genuinely challenging. You'll sleep in the jungle, navigate rivers, and push your limits. Shorter treks of 2 to 3 days are also available and give you a taste of jungle life without the extreme commitment. Most international tourists skip Taman Negara because Borneo's wildlife watching is more famous. But Taman Negara offers something Borneo can't, this ancient, pristine rainforest experience without needing to fly to East Malaysia. It's accessible yet untouched, challenging yet manageable. Getting here requires planning. Take a bus from KL to Jerantut, then a boat to the park headquarters. The journey is part of the adventure. Accommodation ranges from basic camping to comfortable lodges. Come prepared for humidity, insects, and basic facilities. This is a real jungle, not a resort experience. And that's exactly what makes it special. While tourists crowd Perhentian and Langkawi, Pulau Karpas remains blissfully quiet, a tiny island off the east coast that offers everything you want in a tropical paradise with none of the crowds. Pulau Karpas, which means Cotton Island in Malay because of its white sandy beaches, is small enough to walk around in a few hours. There are no cars, no roads, just beach trails and jungle paths connecting a handful of small resorts. The island closes during monsoon season, like the Perhentians, but during the open season from March to October, it offers arguably better snorkeling and definitely fewer tourists. The water around Karpas is impossibly clear. You can see the bottom in 20 feet of water, and the coral reefs are healthy and vibrant. Snorkeling from the beach, you'll encounter sea turtles, blacktip reef sharks, colorful parrotfish, and endless varieties of tropical fish. The house reef at many resorts is so good that paying for boat snorkeling trips isn't necessary. Just swim out from shore, and you're in an underwater paradise. Karpas offers excellent diving at prices significantly lower than the Perhentians. The dive sites are less picked over, and you're likely to be one of only a few divers at each site. Visibility is excellent, and the marine life is abundant. Unlike the party atmosphere of Perhentian Kessel or the resort development of Langkawi, Karpas maintains a laid-back, almost lazy atmosphere. There are a few small restaurants, some beach bars, and nothing else. No Wi-Fi in most places, no nightlife, just the sound of waves and jungle. It's where Malaysians go when they want a beach escape without crowds. You'll meet more local tourists than international ones, which always means you've found somewhere special. If Karpas isn't isolated enough, take a boat to Gem Island, also called Pulau Gemia. This tiny private island has only one resort and some of the best diving in the region. It's more expensive but offers complete tranquility. Karpas lacks the Instagram fame of other islands. It doesn't appear on most international travel blogs. The journey requires more effort, flying to Kuala Terengganu, then a bus to Marang, then a boat to the island. This extra effort filters out casual tourists, leaving the island for those who truly want to disconnect. From March to October, the island completely shuts down during the monsoon season. Book accommodation in advance during Malaysian holidays, but otherwise, you can often just show up and find a room. Everyone talks about Sabah in Borneo, but Sarawak's capital, Kuching, remains mysteriously under the radar. This is Malaysia's coolest city, and I'm not being metaphorical. The people here are genuinely hip, and the vibe is unlike anywhere else in the country. Kuching means cat in Malay, and the city embraces this identity with cat statues, cat museums, and cat-themed everything. It's quirky in a way that reflects the city's personality. It doesn't take itself too seriously. Kuching feels separate from Peninsular Malaysia because it is. Sarawak has its own immigration controls, its own cultural identity, and even its own public holidays. The diversity here is extreme, with Malay, Chinese, Iban, Bidiu, and other indigenous groups all contributing to a unique cultural blend. The Kuching waterfront is beautiful, especially at sunset when locals gather for evening walks and street food. Colonial buildings line the river, and the view across to the striking State Legislative Assembly building creates a perfect cityscape. Wander the old town's narrow streets filled with Chinese shophouses, temples, and traditional trades still being practiced. The mix of old and new, traditional and modern, creates an atmosphere that's distinctly Kuching. Sarawak cuisine is different from Peninsular Malaysian food, and Kuching is where you taste these unique dishes. Sarawak laksa, different from Penang's version, features a coconut-based broth with subtle spice and fresh prawns. Locals line up at dawn for the best bowls. Kolo mee, springy noodles tossed in lard and topped with char siu, is a Kuching breakfast staple. Miding, a local jungle fern, is stir-fried with garlic and belacan and tastes unlike any vegetable you've had before. Try bamboo chicken, where chicken and spices are cooked inside bamboo over fire. The result is tender, fragrant, and uniquely Sarawakian. Just 40 minutes from Kuching, Bako National Park offers incredible biodiversity in a compact area. This is where you'll see proboscis monkeys, those bizarre-looking primates with giant noses that are endemic to Borneo. The park features diverse ecosystems from mangrove swamps to rainforest, dramatic rock formations, secluded beaches, and well-maintained trails. Do the overnight trek to one of the remote beaches for a truly special experience. Unlike the crowds at Sepilok in Sabah, Semengo offers a more intimate orangutan experience. Semi-wild orangutans return to the center for feeding, and watching these magnificent creatures swing through the trees is magical. The center genuinely focuses on conservation and rehabilitation, and the setting in pristine rainforest makes the experience feel natural, not zoo-like. Visit a traditional longhouse to experience how indigenous communities live. These massive structures house entire communities under one roof, with each family having their own section but sharing common spaces. Many longhouses welcome visitors, and staying overnight gives you insight into a way of life that survived centuries. You'll be welcomed with tuak, rice wine, taught traditional dances, and likely adopted as an honorary family member for the evening. Kuching has what most Malaysian cities lack, a cohesive identity and genuine cool factor. The city has embraced its heritage while fostering a creative scene. You'll find specialty coffee shops, craft beer bars, art galleries, and a young population, making Kuching culturally dynamic. Malaysians from the peninsula talk about Kuching with a hint of jealousy. They know it's special, different, and arguably more interesting than their own cities. Give Kuching at least 4 to 5 days. The city itself deserves 2 days, Bako National Park a full day, Semengo half a day, and a longhouse visit of at least 1 overnight. If you have more time, the Mulu Caves are unforgettable but require 2 to 3 days. An hour north of KL sits a small town that most tourists have never heard of. Sekinchan is an agricultural town famous for rice paddy fields that create landscapes so beautiful that photographers and nature lovers make special trips here. The vast paddy fields stretch to the horizon, changing color with the seasons. During planting season, the fields are vibrant green. As harvest approaches, they turn golden yellow. After harvest, they are flooded, creating mirror-like reflections of the sky. The scale is breathtaking. You can rent bicycles and ride along the narrow paths between fields, wind farms spinning in the distance, and farmers working in traditional conical hats. It's a scene that feels timeless. A lone tree in the middle of the paddy fields has become an Instagram sensation among Malaysians, but it remains largely unknown internationally. The tree, surrounded by endless rice paddies, creates a striking image, especially at sunset or sunrise. But beyond the photo opportunity, the location offers a moment of peace. Standing there, surrounded by fields with mountains in the distance and only the sound of wind and birds, you understand rural Malaysia in a way cities can never show you. Sekinchan is also a fishing village, meaning incredibly fresh seafood at prices that will shock you. The restaurants along the main street serve massive seafood meals, crabs, prawns, fish, squid, all cooked multiple ways for less than you'd pay for a basic meal in KL. Go for lunch when locals pack the restaurants. The atmosphere is lively, the food is abundant, and you'll eat like Malaysian royalty without the royal price tag. Not to be confused with Redang Island, Sekinchan's Redang Beach is a local weekend escape. It's not a pristine tropical beach, the water is murky, and swimming isn't great, but at sunset, when the sky explodes with color reflected in the wet sand and fishing boats dot the horizon, it's absolutely beautiful. This is where KL residents come to decompress without leaving the state. The seafood restaurants here are excellent, and the sunset views with Mount Kinabalu visible on clear days make it special. What makes Sikinchan special is that it's not trying to be a tourist destination. It's a working agricultural and fishing town where you experience real Malaysian countryside life. There are no tourist shops, no inflated prices, no performances for cameras. You'll see farmers at work, school children cycling home, and coffee shops full of locals discussing crops and weather. It's Malaysia without the tourism industry, and that authenticity is increasingly rare. Most people visit Sikinchan as a day trip from KL, which works perfectly. Leave in the morning, explore the paddy fields, have a massive seafood lunch, catch the sunset at the beach, and return to KL by evening. If you want to slow down, a few guest houses offer basic but comfortable accommodation. Staying overnight means you can experience sunrise in the paddy fields, which locals claim is even more beautiful than sunset. While Langkawi gets all the attention, Pankar Island offers a similar experience with a fraction of the tourists and much more authentic local life. Pankar is a working fishing island that happens to have beautiful beaches and a handful of resorts. Unlike Langkawi, which is fully developed and tourist-oriented, Pankar maintains its fishing village character. The local population outnumbers tourists, and the island's rhythm follows fishing schedules, not resort entertainment programs. This means you experience real island life, not a constructed tourist version. Pasir Bogak is the main beach, long and sandy, with calm waters perfect for swimming. It's developed enough to have amenities but quiet enough that you'll find empty stretches of sand even on weekends. Teluk Nipah, on the opposite side, is more secluded, with rocky headlands and smaller, more intimate beaches. The sunsets here are spectacular, and the handful of guest houses and restaurants create a backpacker-friendly vibe without the party atmosphere. Coral Beach and Tortoise Bay are only accessible by boat or jungle trek, offering complete seclusion for those willing to make the effort. The real Pankar exists in the fishing villages along the coast. Pankar town and the surrounding settlements are where you see daily life, fishermen repairing nets, fish being dried in the sun, small restaurants serving the day's catch, and temples where locals pray for safe voyages. Walk through these villages early morning when the night's catch is being sorted and sold. The energy, the smells, and the organized chaos of a working fishing port are fascinating. This temple complex, built into a hillside, combines Buddhist and Taoist elements with added attractions like a miniature Great Wall of China. It's wonderfully bizarre and uniquely Malaysian, mixing religion with tourism in a way that somehow works. The views from the top are excellent, and the journey up past shrines, statues, and meditation spots makes for an interesting afternoon. The remains of a Dutch fort from the 1600s sit near Pankar town, evidence of when European powers fought for control of the Strait of Malacca. It's small and not particularly well preserved, but history buffs appreciate the connection to Malaysia's colonial past. Rent a scooter or bicycle and explore the island's single road that circles the perimeter. The ride takes a few hours and passes through fishing villages, jungle sections, beaches, and local life. It's the best way to discover Pankar beyond the beaches. Pankar is cheaper, less crowded, and more authentic. You won't find the same level of luxury resorts or developed attractions, but you'll experience something more genuine. It's where Malaysians vacation, which tells you everything you need to know. The ferry from Lumut is frequent, cheap, and takes only 40 minutes. It's one of the easiest Malaysian islands to reach, yet somehow remains undertoured. Pankar is perfect for travelers who want beach time without the resort experience, who prefer authentic over polished, and who find charm in simplicity. It's not for everyone, but for those who get it, Pankar becomes a favorite. Malaysia's jungles hide countless waterfalls and natural swimming holes that most tourists never discover. Here are the most spectacular hidden water wonders. Most people drive past this waterfall on the way to Cameron Highlands without stopping. But pulling over rewards you with a beautiful multi-tiered waterfall accessible right from the roadside. The water is cold, the setting is lush, and you can actually swim in the pools. It's popular with locals on weekends but nearly empty on weekdays. The sound of the waterfall drowns out any road noise, creating a peaceful, natural escape. About 90 minutes from KL, Chamang Waterfall remains wonderfully uncrowded despite being relatively accessible. The 7-tier waterfall creates multiple pools perfect for swimming, and the surrounding jungle is pristine. A small entrance fee keeps the area maintained, and basic facilities exist without compromising the natural feel. It's a perfect day trip for those who want wilderness without extreme trekking. In Malaysia's smallest and least visited state, Kelam Cave features a 370-meter limestone cave that you walk through to reach a beautiful river and waterfall on the other side. The cave itself is dark, humid, and filled with bats, making the journey feel adventurous. The reward is a hidden river valley where locals swim and picnic. Almost no international tourists make it here because Police is overlooked, making it feel like a true discovery. Near Ipoh, this waterfall requires a short jungle trek but rewards you with one of Malaysia's most beautiful cascades. The water falls into a large, deep pool perfect for swimming, surrounded by jungle and massive boulders. Local adventure companies offer canyoning here, which involves rappelling down the waterfall, an adrenaline rush for those seeking adventure beyond sightseeing. Kenny Lake is Southeast Asia's largest man-made lake, created when a hydroelectric dam flooded a valley. The result is a massive lake dotted with over 340 islands and countless waterfalls accessible only by boat. Stay at a floating resort on the lake and spend days exploring hidden waterfalls, each more beautiful than the last. Lasir Waterfall, Tembat Waterfall, and Pechuang Waterfall are among the most spectacular. The lake area sees few international tourists but is popular with Malaysian adventurers and fishermen. The remoteness and boat-only access make it feel like you're exploring undiscovered territory. This 7-tier waterfall near Kuala Pilar offers a perfect blend of accessibility and natural beauty. The trail follows the river up through the tiers, each level offering different pool sizes and waterfall heights. The top tier is the most impressive, falling from a significant height into a large, deep pool. The trek up is moderate, making it accessible for most fitness levels while still feeling like an adventure. Always check recent conditions before visiting, as heavy rain can make waterfalls dangerous, while dry seasons can reduce them to trickles. The best time is typically just after the rainy season when water flow is strong, but conditions are safe. Wear proper footwear with grip. Rocks near waterfalls are slippery. Bring a dry bag for phones and valuables. Don't swim near the base of large waterfalls, the current can be dangerous. Respect the environment, take your trash, don't use soap in natural water, and stick to established paths to prevent erosion. The real Malaysia exists not in tourist areas but in local neighborhoods where daily life unfolds. Here's where to find authentic Malaysian experiences. While tourists stick to KLCC and Bukit Bintang, Chow Kit offers raw, authentic KL. The massive wet market is where locals shop for fresh produce, meat, and fish. The energy is intense, the smells are powerful, and the experience is completely unfiltered. The neighborhood has a rough reputation, but during the day, it's safe and fascinating. You'll see real Malaysian life, vendors shouting prices, aunties haggling fiercely, and food preparation happening right on the street. Nasi Kandar restaurants here serve some of the city's best food at the lowest prices. The Mamak stalls stay open 24 hours, always packed with locals. This is where you eat alongside taxi drivers, construction workers, and office staff, all sharing tables and conversation. TTDI is where middle-class KL residents live, work, and play. The neighborhood has excellent local restaurants, morning markets, and a genuine community feel. It's not pretty or Instagrammable, but it's real. The TTDI wet market in the morning is a sensory overload of fresh food, cooking demonstrations, and local vendors. The nearby food court serves exceptional breakfast roti canai, nasi lemak, and various noodle dishes at prices that seem impossible. Walk through the residential streets, and you'll see Malaysian suburban life, kids walking to school, elderly people practicing Tai Chi in parks, neighbors chatting over fences. It's ordinary and therefore extraordinary for travelers wanting to see beyond the tourist version. Everyone visits Georgetown and ignores Butterworth on the mainland, but this industrial town offers the most authentic Penang food experience. Locals claim the best char kway teow, laksa, and sendal are actually in Butterworth, not Georgetown. The town isn't pretty, but the hawker centers are legendary among Malaysians. Prices are lower, portions are bigger, and the cooks are cooking for locals who grew up eating these dishes, so standards are uncompromising. It's a place to spend a morning or afternoon, eating your way through hawker stalls and experiencing Penang life without the heritage tourism overlay. Pasar Malam, or night markets, happen in different neighborhoods on different nights throughout Malaysian cities. These aren't tourist markets selling souvenirs, they're where locals shop for fresh produce, street food, cheap clothing, and household items. Ask your hotel or locals which Pasar Malam is happening nearby during your visit. Go after sunset when they are in full swing, try the street food, watch how locals shop and socialize, and experience the community atmosphere that defines Malaysian neighborhoods. These hidden gems represent the Malaysia that exists beyond Instagram, beyond travel guides, beyond the tourist trail. This is the Malaysia that Malaysians know and love, the places they return to, and the experiences they treasure. The famous destinations are famous for good reason. They're beautiful, accessible, and worthy of your time. But these hidden places offer something the famous spots can't: authenticity, discovery, and the feeling that you're experiencing something special that few others know about. What I've learned exploring Malaysia's hidden gems is that the best travel experiences come from curiosity and conversation. Talk to locals, ask where they go on vacation, find out which food stalls they recommend, and follow their advice. Malaysians are incredibly proud of their country and genuinely happy to share their favorite places. The Malaysia I showed you in my first guide will give you an incredible trip. The hidden Malaysia I've shown you today will give you an unforgettable one. Combine both, and you'll experience this country in all its beautiful complexity. Start planning, stay curious, and be willing to go where guidebooks don't lead. Malaysia's hidden gems are waiting, and discovering them will change how you see not just Malaysia, but travel itself. If you discovered some places you'd never heard of before, hit that like button, subscribe for more hidden gem guides, and drop a comment telling me which destination you're most excited to add to your Malaysia itinerary. The adventure continues, and I'll see you in the next one.